The Senate had a procedural vote in regard to the replacement plan for the Affordable Care Act, and unfortunately, the procedural vote did pass with Mike Pence breaking the 50-50 tie. The two Republican lawmakers who voted against this procedural vote, of course, were the two women who have been holding this up, Lisa Murkowski and also Susan Collins. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that Senator John McCain decided to go back to Washington in order to take part in this vote, and he did vote in favor of it. Now, keep in mind that this is strictly a procedural vote, meaning that the Senate has agreed or has voted in favor of allowing for more debate moving forward in regard to a replacement plan for the Affordable Care Act. Now,
can I jump in on McCain immediately?
Okay. We have videos of McCain, giving a passionate speech as well. So we'll get to that later.
Passionate in all the wrong ways. So, all right, you know what? I'll start with Murkowski and Collins. Bless their hearts. Very rarely will a Republican senator or any Republican politician actually vote in a moderate way. They'll love to claim the title of moderate, but they never act moderate, right? But here's a rare case and an important case where they actually were moderate.
Right.
They said, look, we're not gonna strip away health care from 22 million Americans. We don't vote yes on procedure. We don't vote yes on the bill. And by the way, we don't even know what's in the bill. This is the insanity of this. McConnell, the leader for the Republicans in the Senate, said, yeah, I'm not gonna tell you what we're gonna put up. I want you to vote yes on proceeding to a debate. Murkowski said, well, what the hell are we debating? I don't know what I'm voting yes on. And he's like, that's right, I'm not gonna tell you, right? So that's great context for what you're about to see from McCain, because this sounds wonderful, but it's actually, in my opinion, horrible. So Murkowski and Collins, Republican senators, deserve credit for doing the right thing and protecting your health care. And also the right thing in terms of the Senate, because none of the people who voted yes have any idea what they're voting on. They have literally not seen the bill that is going to be proposed. All those years of the Republicans saying, oh, they didn't even read the bill. They didn't even, in this case, there is no bill. McConnell said, I'm not going to tell you which bill I'm gonna put up and what's in it. I want you to vote yes anyway on going forward on that debate.
Right.
As usual, overwhelming majority of the Republicans, grotesque and obvious and brazen hypocrites, which I hear all the time on TV. Oh, right, they never say that. They call it 50-50 unless it's Trump.
Right, so again, just to clarify and emphasize, McConnell drafted this legislation behind closed doors. The senators do not know what that legislation entails. However, after this procedural vote, it essentially opens the doors to as much as 20 hours worth of debates where amendments will be proposed, and the outcome is unlikely to be exactly the same as what McConnell has drafted. So I just want to make that clear. Now, with that said, let's hear from John McCain. He did give a pretty passionate speech during this vote.
We Republicans have looked for a way to end it and replace it with something else without paying a terrible political price. We haven't found it yet, and I'm not sure we will. All we've managed to do is make more popular a policy that wasn't very popular when we started trying to get rid of it. I voted for the motion to proceed to allow debate to continue and amendments to be offered. I will not vote for this bill as it is today. It's a shell of a bill right now. We all know that. I have changes urged by my state's governor that will have to be included to earn my support for final passage of any bill. I know many of you will have to see the bill change substantially for you to support it. We've tried to do this by coming up with a proposal behind closed doors in consultation with the administration, then springing it on skeptical members, trying to convince them that it's better than nothing, asking us to swallow our doubts and force it past a unified opposition. I don't think that's going to work in the end, and probably shouldn't.
All right, so there he is. He had some strong words for people in the media who have chimed in on this debate as well. We'll get to that clip in just a second.
Yeah, okay, that was total nonsense. He gave the speech to vote no, and then he voted yes. He said, we did this behind closed doors. We shouldn't do it behind closed doors, but I'm gonna vote yes. We don't know what's in the bill. We should know what's in the bill. I'm gonna vote yes. Well, then you should vote no. We didn't work with the other party, so I should vote no, but I'm gonna vote yes. and we should follow regular order. This vote was to make sure you don't follow regular order in the Senate. So I'm gonna tell you all the reasons why I should vote no, so it sounds great, and knucklehead TV news actors will come on and go, oh, John McCain, oh my God, John McCain. He came on like a hero and told us why we should vote no and then voted yes. So not interested. Is he heroic for coming from brain cancer and speaking under these situations? Yes. For being able to come out of surgery and get to Washington, I guess on an issue he cares about, although I guess he cares about it. Maybe he doesn't know what he's doing because that speech was a no vote. And to turn around and to vote in this direction. Look, I'll give him one more piece of credit. Yes, it's great that you come out if you care about the issue. Again, it makes no sense because you seem to care against this. Anyway, the second part is that he did campaign on it. He did say that he was going to repeal Obamacare, and he's like, whether I know what's in it or not, and he said, I'm not promising to vote for the final piece of legislation, but I do want to go forward on murdering Obamacare. So that's my heroic act here in the Senate.
Not only did he campaign on that, he has been part of that effort from the very beginning. He has been against the Affordable Care Act from the very beginning. He's been outspoken against it. And so it doesn't surprise me that he voted the way that he did. But I want to hold for just a second, because while I agree that it's ridiculous that both the Senate and the House, Republicans in both the Senate and the House, continue to fight tooth and nail for something that the vast majority of Americans are actually in favor of. The vast majority of Americans actually do like the Affordable Care Act, especially when it's presented to them as the Affordable Care Act and all the different components of it that they get to take advantage of. However, it's not as alarming as them voting on actual legislation. That's not what happened today. What they did was vote. It was a procedural vote, which indicates that they can move forward with debating this issue and creating amendments to whatever Mitch McConnell decided to draft up behind closed doors.
Let me just clarify one more layer to it, though. The reason that John McCain is speaking passionately against the thing he voted for is because he likes to do things in regular order of the Senate, which is true. He has been principled on that, except for his votes, which are the exact opposite of his principles. Anyway, normally what you would have is you would vote to go forward on a bill that you have seen.
That's right.
There is no bill, so we haven't seen it yet. It's not like they didn't get a chance to read it. It has not been proposed, so that is not regular order. So if John McCain stuck with his principles, he would have clearly voted no.
So the way that I see this, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is just my perception. This is just a lot of political theater for me, right?
And sorry I jumped in already, but because they could have killed it right here. If John McCain just doesn't show up or shows up and gives the same exact speech and then votes as his speech says, we're done with it. They can't even proceed to a vote to kill Obamacare.
No, I know, I understand that, right? But you're talking as if we have senators that are interested in serving the best interests of their constituents, which we know we don't, right? We have senators and lawmakers who do things for political gain. And so if you have some members of, some people who voted for them, their constituents, who think Obamacare is terrible, right? Without even really understanding how many components of Obamacare have actually helped them out. If they voted for these politicians with the thought that they were going to help get rid of Obamacare, well, isn't that what they're doing here? Isn't that what these senators are attempting to do? Appear like they're trying to dismantle the Affordable Care Act, when in reality, this is a procedural vote that doesn't really do much other than open the doors for more debate.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if that's what John McCain thinks he's doing and being cute, I voted on procedure and then he votes later against the bill. One, I'll take it if he votes against the bill. But two, it won't convince anybody anyway. You're gonna eventually have the real vote. So I don't think it does that much good. This is just them going out there and saying, yeah, I promise to kill the Affordable Care Act, which gives you insurance, and I'll do it even if I don't know what's in I don't know if there's gonna be a replacement at all. McConnell has not promised that it will be replaced in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what's in the replacement if one exists, but I promise you that I will destroy your health care. That's what I promised you in the campaign, and that's what I'm gonna deliver on. So thank you, John McCain. It looks like you had good health care, though.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're a US senator, you had great health care. That's why you could have that surgery and then come right back. Well, if other people wanna have that health care, it looks like you're gonna vote no. Wow, heroism.
Yeah, and that goes back to this lack of empathy that our lawmakers have. Like they'll take advantage of government programs that are awesome. He doesn't have to worry about not having the resources available to treat his condition, but he has no problem possibly taking those types of benefits away from the American people. All right, so there was another portion of his speech that I thought was super interesting. He decided to attack the media, not in a Trump way, but in just a fascinating way regarding the divisiveness in the media and some of the voices that we hear from. So let's take a look at what McCain had to say about that.
Stop listening to the bombastic loudmouths on the radio and television and the internet. To hell with them. They don't want anything done for the public good. Our incapacity is their livelihood. Let's trust each other. Let's return to regular order. We've been spinning our wheels on too many important issues because we keep trying to find a way to win without help from across the aisle. That's an approach that's been employed by both sides, mandating legislation from the top down without any support from the other side, with all the parliamentary maneuvers that requires. We're getting nothing done, my friends. We're getting nothing done.
Okay, so wait, let me tackle this. So he says, ignore the bombastic loudmouths.
He's talking about you.
Yeah, on the internet. Okay, I hear you, John. To hell with that. Little ironic, but we'll get past it. This is the guy that's famous for bomb Iran. That's what he said. This is the guy who's the biggest warmonger in the Senate. So if you're a little loud on TV, radio, or the internet, you have been uncivil to the elites. How dare you, you bombastic loudmouth. I dropped bombs all over the Middle East, killed hundreds of thousands of civilians, grandmothers, babies, aunts, uncles, children. All those people are dead in Iraq because of John McCain's vote. They're dead all over the Middle East because of John McCain's votes. But somebody was a little loud in how they complained about his votes. When he's singing bomb Iran, Iran is a bigger country than Iraq. We'd have 10 times a bigger mess in Iran. But he doesn't mind that. Maybe millions die. But don't, whatever you do, be impolite to the honorable ladies and gentlemen of the elite Senate. Thank you very much for your advice, John McCain. I'm gonna choose to ignore that. I think what you have done is far more uncivil. Look at the vote you're doing here. You said return to regular order, you voted against regular order. You said we shouldn't squeak by, we should have bipartisanship. You guys didn't ask for a single Democratic vote. You didn't include them in a single sentence in that healthcare bill. And you just passed it 50-50 with Vice President breaking the tie. It doesn't get any more partisan than that. You are an enormous hypocrite. And if it hurts your feelings for me to point out that stone cold fact, well, then I've hurt your feelings and you're gonna have to live with it. What you're doing, taking away healthcare potentially from 22 million Americans, trust me, hurts more than their feelings. Help us build independent media together. TYTnetwork.com/join.